Hi, everybody. We're just waiting a moment till everybody is in the room, and then we get started. Yes, in the meantime, we would love to know where you are all from.
Mexico. Wow.
Have to stop this one. Yes, so I think we can get pretty much started. We just wait a couple more minutes till more people are in there. As you can see, we have the United States here in the background. We're not in America right now. We're actually speaking from Germany. So it's nice to see everybody. I think you're all having morning right now, and we are starting the evening here.
Yeah, at our time, it's roughly 6 in the evening, so it's quite nice as well.
Guten Tag.
Oh, guten Tag.
Nice.
I think right now we can start.
I think we start, yeah. So we are Jan and Miranda from the Tiny Living Alliance. And we're members of the Tiny Living Alliance team, from the Tiny Living Foundation team. And we just want to give you a presentation about what the Tiny Living Alliance is, and how we came from the project Tiny Living Alliance to the foundation, Tiny Living Foundation, which we have now. We are currently, as we said, we are in Germany because we are on our way to another country for a project we are working on. But this we will tell you a bit more about later. First, I'll tell you a bit about the Tiny Living Alliance. While exploring the world, we experienced what it's like to live free and minimalistic. And in different countries, we came across tiny houses and their owners. And we saw how nice it was to live in a tiny house, but also that people encountered some problems when they bought the tiny houses. From these experiences, we started the Tiny Living Alliance with a team together in 2019. And as a sort of project, a network for trustful and reliable tiny house companies, their customers, and the community. And together we distinguish reliable, honest, and transparent tiny house companies from companies with less honest intentions. Jan will take you right now through the website. So I think this is easier to show you what we are doing and how did we do it.
Also, I just wanted to share the screen to get only a little overview about the Tiny Living Alliance. I think few of you guys, they know already the Tiny Living Alliance from the last tiny house event, which we also was speaking there. I just want to share it. So I hope it's going really well. So, can everyone hear me as well or still? Maybe yes, huh? Yes, perfect. Because sometimes we have a little bit of problem with sharing a screen and sharing the audio as well. Okay, I quickly wanted to show you the Tiny Living Alliance. Right now, the Tiny Living Alliance changed a little bit in the last couple of years. It belongs to the Tiny Living Foundation. The Tiny Living Alliance is right now a project out of it for company, organization, and communities. But in the end, it doesn't change so much for the members, also not for the customers, because the service which the Tiny Living Alliance offers to customer and also to the tiny house builders is the first one to find a trustworthy and transparent tiny house builder as a company who builds a tiny house for them. Another service which the Tiny Living Alliance offers is to help to find the right property, right now only in Europe at the moment, as well as to get the financing, because all the last couple of years or the last couple of half a year, we got lots of inquiries to say, oh, we want actually to live in a tiny house. We like it, but we don't have the money right now because a tiny house right now here in Europe cost me between 50,000 and 80,000 euro. It's roughly the same, maybe also in dollar, in US dollar, roughly. And that's why we also be in contact with other partners, with some banks, and they offer a nice loan for tiny houses. But it's quite hot at the moment, also because lots of banks, they say we don't want it actually, but we can also see there's a little bit movement or a change in the whole financing part. Another thing which we also made, so the Tiny Living Alliance, is the protection, the bioprotection, also the protection for the tiny house builders. It's like we offer with another partner together an escort service, which is also quite nice. So the money stays on the account until the customer is happy, or another way around. Also, it's quite a nice service. Few of them they use it right now because we have also sometimes a little bit, I don't want to say trouble, but some problems, some issues between other countries or between other countries and the customers. They order a tiny house. And of course, at the end, the Tiny Living Alliance also stays behind the customer and the tiny house builders companies and give them support. What we can do, how we can clarify something, or give them also some information about tiny houses. Yeah, the main thing of the Tiny Living Alliance is actually the trust badge. You can find it on trustworthy and transparent tiny house companies' websites. They want to show it so that they also belongs to the Tiny Living Alliance. If you click on it, you come to the membership or to the company membership page where you can find all the information, all the contact details, and also the portfolio, some news, and you can also get directly with them in contact, or you can get in contact also with over the Tiny Living Alliance. Or if you have a complaint, you can also send an email to us with this kind of memo. Yeah, and then you verify it so you can see if it's verified or if it's not verified, because in the background of the Tiny Living Alliance, there are also some third parties and they check continuous this kind of company. Yeah, like I said it, the Tiny Living Alliance belongs right now as a project of a Tiny Living Foundation, which Miranda wants to tell a little bit more about this foundation. So that means, of course, the 365 days help and support, which we offer from the Tiny Living Alliance. Also that we are represented in more than 20 countries, and that we are 100% of a non-profit foundation, and everything what we get as income or donation sponsoring goes directly to other social projects, which Miranda tells you a little bit more about the project which we are also do. Yeah, some trustworthy tiny house companies, Muppet did my son, different kinds in different kinds of countries. We have right now more as 40 members completely in Europe, and day by day it's getting more and more. Yeah, this is quite nice. Interesting news. So we post also interesting news of all the members, and so that it's like a nice round thing for the Tiny Living Alliance to get also information and to also get a little bit more trust or a good feeling to the end customers that every time there's someone behind it, and in case something goes wrong, for example. And this is actually what the Tiny Living Alliance stands for it, this kind of project of the Tiny Living Foundation. Maybe, I don't know, Miranda, do you want to go further to the Tiny Living Foundation, or should I say something?
Maybe tell a bit more about the members. I think that would be interesting.
Okay, the member. I just go quickly to the member page. Also to become a member, it's quite easy. It's really free. Also there is nothing. There are no hidden costs, like we said it here in Europe. It's free completely. On the right side, you can see the membership with the trust badge, with your company complete details, with some reviews, and also the portfolio, which kind of tiny house you offer, and the complete inquiry later on. What we have right now new in our portfolio for all the members, we give all the members a 360-degree tiny house tour. That means for his own tiny house, because we think it's quite nice to show also the customer a tiny house, how they feel inside. And we also realized that a few tiny house builders, because they are mostly one person or two person or three person company, self entrepreneurs, that they don't have any time, or they don't have the feeling for this kind of technical stuff. And we also provide this. So they send us some pictures, for example. We render them and make a nice 360-degree tiny house tour for them. Another tiny living they joined already is, of course, and then in the end, I only want to say just it's completely free. Of course, we have also some sponsoring, but it's coming completely later. The Tiny Living Alliance and also the foundation, we want to provide everything for free, the main thing for free. And if someone wants to sponsor or donate something, we are also helpful, because this is going in the foundation. Another project, which Miranda maybe wants to tell something about it right now.
So we just, I think, stop. We can show a bit about foundation also. So I'll tell you a bit about the Tiny Living Foundation. So actually, we started the Tiny Living Alliance 3 years ago. And from this project, we came to the foundation. So the last few years, we set up the whole website from the Tiny Living Alliance, the network. We are in good contact with all of our members, and we see how many visitors come to the website to find reliable tiny house companies and which build their tiny houses. And still, we felt like something is missing. We're feeling that we could do that we're doing something good, but maybe we could do something more. So actually, this time a family from Scotland came to us, and they said we have this idea about creating a tiny house village or tiny house community together, but we're not really sure how to make it, and could we maybe make it together, or do you have ideas for us? We were quite enthusiastic about this, and we wanted to make this with them together. And from this actually came the idea to start helping people to create projects regarding tiny living. And the next step came naturally, because we thought we want to make more, we want to do more with this. And so the next project we came up with was the Tiny Living Foundation. And since 2022, the Tiny Living Foundation is official. So with our social projects, which I will tell a bit about later, we give a helping hand to everybody that wants to live a more conscious and sustainable life, to help and protect the environment. The Tiny Living Foundation aims to promote sustainable living by stimulating and creating opportunities for the realization of small, sustainable tiny houses all over the world. Our goal is to provide tiny living to everybody who wants to live a more conscious and sustainable life. And the foundation also advises on issues relating to tiny living and the tiny living movement on the whole world. Today, our projects help families to reduce their environmental footprint and protect tiny house builders and their clients. And in the end, we also want to take care of our environment where we live in. In the upcoming years, we plan to support more people by spreading knowledge, inspiration, and information, and help funding tiny living projects together. So in the end, together we can stand for a better life in the future. So this is the whole idea about the foundation, which I think we can help together a lot of people with, or like we're really keen for looking for projects to make something together these projects actually, to start the whole foundation, made us also think like which projects are
really helpful,
and also are really standing close to us. So yeah, we were thinking about how we can help people with what we do actually, and we sort of came with 4 projects which you see on our screen. And the upcoming years, we actually want to focus on these 4 different projects and put our time and eventually also money in there. So the first project is the project where it all started with, the Tiny Living Alliance. I think this is something, so it started with this, and this is something we want to continue growing in the next couple of years, put energy in there because we see how it's going quite good with this project and how we made a really nice network with it, how everybody's working together, how we get more and more people to come to us and say like, hey, thanks for helping us to find a tiny house and to find even smaller things.
Also, for example, I just want to give a little example. One family, like Miranda said it already, one family get in contact with us, for example, and they said, we want to make actually something for people to live in Scotland. This is a family, they live in Scotland. They are all a little bit from different kind of countries. They are also a little bit a more natural person, with less footprint. They want to make less footprint. How it's possible for them, and they came to us and say, "Oh, is it not possible to do something out of our property? Because we have a really nice property, and we want to give the community around Scotland, also for other countries, a little opportunity also to try to get in this kind of feeling and movement, and tiny living movement or tiny house movement, and this." Little new living style. I have to say right now, it's another living style. It's just someone is coming from a flat or from a 3-floor house, for example, and then go to a tiny house. It's a little bit different, especially here in Europe, for example. Our tiny house, or maximum 50 square meter. So, and then you have to fit everything in this little one. So it's quite different. And right now we also think about it to make together with her a nice project for Scotland, which we also can give all the experiments which we get there and all the information which we figured out in Scotland right now. We can also provide it to other families. And we think about this, that the tiny living family, this kind of project, we see it more as a community. The community, we call it family. This is our whole family. We should also think about it, that it's a nice family together, all the tiny house, a community together. And with this information, we want also to provide this to other family members, as for family members, other community, for tinyhouse.com, maybe also for another country, so that in the end, it's a nice round thing where we can say, okay, this actually we create together with all. Even if you are coming from America, from Canada, from South America, or either from really far east, from China or Japan, doesn't matter. But in the end, it's nice to share all the information together, also the experiments. And this, we want to make this with the Tiny Living family, with this kind of project. And maybe the Miranda can tell a little bit more about another project, the Tiny Living Village, which is also quite nice.
I think in the end, just the whole family thing is just also to give something back to, like, we want to support families, or we call it families, but it's also friends. It's also, people want to make something alone, but want to support them, and maybe we can figure out things together, and like that we can create communities together, we can create projects together, or we can create tiny house villages together. I think this is important to do it together, and let's connect and make this world together better. I think about this whole project in Scotland, I think soon we will put this project, which is the first project from the family in Scotland, on our website, and they want to create a tiny living community there and want to collect funding for this project. The next project we are doing, and this is actually the one, so currently we're really busy on this project and we're super enthusiastic about it. We are going to create the first tiny living village in Europe, a village with different tiny houses where friends and family can go to have a nice holiday together, to stay there and experience also what it's like to live tiny. They can find there the tiny house that they are looking for. Because all members of the Tiny Living Alliance have the opportunity to place one or more tiny houses in all of our villages for free. So this project, I don't know, we're currently really hard working on it, and this is also why we are in Germany right now. So this is the next country. We don't want to announce yet where we are going, but have a look on our website the next month, and then we will announce it. And over there, we're going to build up a really nice project with all different kind of tiny houses from our members. Where people can experience what it's like to live tiny. And
in the end, the tiny living village, of course, you would, for example, say, the first tiny living village in Europe, or I know lots of other tiny living village where you can stay. Actually, yeah, it's true. This village is also, you can also stay there. But the only difference from this kind of village of the tiny living village from the Tiny Living Foundation is that all the members, they get a free exhibition place, and they change all the time the tiny houses. And with this income of this village, we support other social projects again. So that means the tiny house builders, for example, they put a nice tiny house there. We both, as a tiny house builder, get also income from it. We get income, and we can produce with this income together another nice project for the whole tiny movement community. And this is something special, because all the other tiny living villages which are right out there, they are mostly out of profit. So they want to have profit. And this, we don't want it, because that's why we also established the Tiny Living Foundation, which has also, which is ruling, or which is also regarding to the Act 501 from America. It's a really non-profit organization. And that's why, so we also had to fight for this kind of status. And that's why we are like to fight for this status. And that's why with this kind of village, maybe there's also something, other ideas which we can also combine with this tiny living village. There are some little details, some other details which makes it a little bit special to other villages in Europe, I would say in Europe.
Yeah. We will announce on our website soon where the first tiny living village will be, and in the future we want to create more, and we do want to do this in different countries, and especially work together with the community over there. So with local people, create something with them together. I think this is quite important. So we have the fourth project is a tiny living environment. So we figured out lots of companies who build tiny houses are using wood, which is a beautiful environmentally friendly product. And 1 year ago, I think roughly 1 year ago, when the prices from wood were going up quite fast, builders or members from us came to us and they asked us, where can we get wood? Where can we get affordable wood? And this question, like, we got them in contact with other people. And from this question, we started thinking, like, maybe can we give something back to the environment in this way? So, we came up with the idea, like, can we plant trees, or can we make sure there's enough wood in the future to keep this going? So we found, we found multiple countries in Europe. We found opportunities to plant some trees there in the forests. So I think this is a really nice way to give something back, and this wood in the future, so that we can use it to keep on building sustainable tiny houses. So in the end, I would just sort of like to say, like, this whole contribution to the Tiny Living Foundation, I think that's only possible thanks to the gifts from financial gifts of individuals and companies. And with the help from our donors and partners, we contribute, I think, to a better world, a cleaner environment, and a free life. So with our social projects, we want to give a helping hand to everybody that wants to live a more conscious and sustainable life. In the end, to help and protect our environment.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say shortly, for the tiny living environment, we have also a nice yeah, a nice saying, which also other members followed this one. Let's grow us together a tiny house and with the tiny living environment, because every tiny house with right now our members build or sell, few of them they already spent, or we could say to him, okay, maybe you can sponsoring or donate in this kind of project where you can also make something good out of it. And few of them members they do it already. They spend money in nice project and the environment. So that's everything also clean, because we have also to see what we are doing later also with the tiny houses. We have also the problem maybe in the future is that we have to recycling some tiny houses. Most of them they are quite environment friendly tiny houses, and most of them maybe they use also material which are not so environment friendly. And this I think this is coming also in the future. We have also maybe to think about it, what we do with all this stuff, with this material which we are produce and where we are live in there, and how long this material exists actually where we live in there. But this is also maybe for some other speakers they are coming uh, after us. Maybe they have also a nice view what we can do with this, or with this kind of issue or the problem. Yeah, then I would say,
Yeah, so in the end, we just wanted to tell you a little bit about what the Tiny Living Alliance, of course, is doing, but also how we set up this foundation above it. That it's not the Tiny Living Alliance seems to be quite business and so, but the actual thing, what we want to do with it is give back. And I think with foundation, we found a way to to find a way to give back to people and to create projects together, to do something back for the world we are going to live in for so long. And I think it's a nice way to create communities together where we can visit each other and philosophize about other projects together. We hope we could give you a nice idea about the Tiny Living Foundation, about the Tiny Living Alliance, and about the project we want to work on in the future. And we hope that if anybody has nice ideas or wants to work with us together, please get in contact with us, because we're always open to work on projects together and creating something together, concepts, or just brainstorming about it. So about that. And we also want to thank Sark and Jason for giving us the opportunity to speak to everybody. And we want to thank everybody here for showing interest. And we would just like to say at the end, like, keep an eye on our website the next couple of months, because a lot will be changing. We're going to put some big updates the next couple of months, also where we are going in a couple of weeks. Okay. And just about how everything is going with the projects. And again, if someone out there is saying like, hey, this sounds like a nice idea, maybe we can work together. Or if you have a specific question to us, I think we're running out of time here, but give us an email. I think Jan will write down our email address and maybe our website, so that everybody can get in contact with us. And we will just, when this is finished, I think we will just read through the comments and the questions and everything. And we would love to get in contact with everybody. But maybe just send us an email, and then we can have a video call or email contact.
Oh, yeah, I would also say, I think in the end, many thanks for all the listener and for all the interest. Many thanks, Saf and Jason, for this kind of opportunity. Yeah. And just get in contact. Maybe we have also some ideas or some information which you can use also in America. Or you have information which we can use in Europe, for example. Because I think the whole community, we should work together. And even if it's a big ocean between us, but I think
shouldn't stop us.
Exactly. Also we should work together, should exchange information, and then I think we can only learn from each other. And I think this is the nicest way where we can move this kind of tiny movements further. Many thanks.
So for now, many thanks to everybody. Good luck to everybody who's still speaking. We will watch you. And we hope to see you soon.
Many thanks. Bye.
Bye.